Are you your worst enemy? How many times have your own thoughts been against you instead of for you? How many times have you disqualified yourself before you even had the chance to see what could happen? I'm Miguel, joined by my amazing wife, Evelyn. Thank you for being here, babe.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go. It's a special day for me, y'all. We're gonna get into it in a little bit. I want to start off by just answering the question. How many times have your thoughts been against you? For me, it's been all the time. I mean, you see it. I like to succeed and just get to the next level and do certain things. And man, it's a battle. My mind is, my thoughts, I feel like there's more against me than there are for me. So it's a real battle. And I find myself like disqualifying myself. And one of the areas that I find myself disqualifying myself in is this. What I really am passionate about is creating quality content and creating consistent quality content. And so when I see people that have more experience, they have way better gear, I'm just putting stuff together, whatever I have. I'm thankful, don't get me wrong, but I see people doing this on a consistent basis, high quality, great image, great sound, great lighting, great setups, just everything is incredible. And so sometimes I just catch myself where I just disqualify myself. It's like, should I even be doing this? And babes, just, starting off with you as well with these same questions, like how many times have your thoughts been against you instead of for you?
For me, I feel like my thoughts have been against me like all day, every day. Yeah, it's pretty often. For one, just doing this, just getting on camera with you. You've been wanting to do this for the longest time. It's been 4 to 5 years. I don't know, when was your last video? Your very first video was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, first one was, definitely. And what's funny is she's the one that actually got me to put myself on video because I was just doing regular posts as words and I didn't want to be on there. So, and that was 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly just because I am a private person. It's really hard to just put myself out there. Another reason would be just, am I even like interesting? Are people really down to listen to what I have to say? I just don't feel like I have anything to share sometimes.
No, and you definitely do. I think that's the piece, right? Like disqualification comes in so many different forms. But I think the one that really cripples us and that limits us is when it comes from ourselves. Yeah. And it just hurts us, and one of the things that we do to overcome that is that in our own lives, we have to give ourselves the chance to see. And the chance to see what we're truly made of and how much we're actually worth in God's eyes. And I think what we're gonna lead to is this key point is that a willing heart is more powerful than you think. And so babe, just thinking about this question, and for you guys as well, thinking about this question. What if someone chooses you, but you say no because of what you think disqualifies you versus what they actually think qualifies you? And babe, what would you say?
Just thinking about that, I mean, you never get to find out what that person sees in you, right?
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Just like you saw that in me 4 or 5 years ago, and I didn't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you being here now is super special. And so not only just the examples that we had, but we also wanted to share some of the things that that we've seen as far as when God picked his team, right? Like when God picks people to represent him and be a part of his squad, if you will, God didn't choose people because they were the most talented and they had great ability. A lot of times, or oftentimes, no one really stood out with unusual ability. Like no one really stood out from the other, right? In a great way. And they actually had different backgrounds. They had different lifestyles, different upbringings. And some of them were even questionable, like extremely questionable, which we're gonna get into in a little bit, because you would just think like, how would you pick someone like that? Why would you choose someone like that to be a part of your team and to represent you? And even further with that, some of them didn't even get along. So it's like you have a team that doesn't even get along with each other and they're supposed to represent you. That's next level. So we're just gonna go into a few examples. I'm just gonna kind of spitfire through these and let's do it, babe.
Yeah, okay. So there's Simon, who later became Peter. He was impulsive and often spoke without thinking.
Yes.
We had, Jesus also had brothers James and John.
Yep.
They were both short-tempered, judgmental, and selfish.
Ooh, okay. This might be hitting home a little bit, you know. I definitely had my times of short-temperedness.
Yep.
Oh man, let's go. Let's keep going through these. Let's keep going through these. We'll get into it.
Okay. Well, there's Andrew. He struggled to understand Jesus.
Okay, let's go. I think we can all relate to that. Just not understanding this. That's normal.
There is also Nathaniel. He was skeptical and cautious. He actually initially rejected Jesus because of where he was from.
Ooh, let's go. Have you ever rejected someone because of where they were from? Like, we'll get back to that. But thinking about the skeptical part too, I want to kind of touch on that because I think a lot of times we're skeptical and we're cautious. Like, just one simple example of where that stems from is being fearful of what others might think of you and what it would make us look like. And so thinking about that, we could easily feel like judged. We could feel criticized just about our past or our habits, our old habits, our current habits, you know, who we used to be, and just people not even believing that we could actually change. When it comes to someone, you know, being from a certain place, like we're just prejudging them, right? That's where prejudice comes in. You prejudging them based off of the country that they're from or the city that they came from or the neighborhood, you know, stuff like that. And you never really get to see what kind of value they can actually add to your life because you're prejudging them about where they're from. And so that's just, anyways, I don't want to get too deep in that. Let's get back to these points.
Okay, and then there's Matthew. He was despised because of a dishonest career.
Ooh, dishonest career.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Matthew, tax collector.
Yeah.
Come on now, these tax collectors, you know that we be getting taxed. They tax us on the tax, then they tax the tax that they tax us on, then we have to pay with the money that they tax us on, and then they tax that. You know what I'm saying? That's really how it feels though, if you really think about it. It's just nonstop. But anyways, come on, Matthew.
There's Thomas. He refused to believe without seeing the proof, so he doubted.
Yep. That's right.
He also had a pessimistic outlook, seeing the worst or believing the worst would happen.
Ooh. I think we can agree with some of that stuff right there too. I think if we're honest, we've doubted, we've had a negative outlook, all of those different things. Let's go.
Okay, and there's Thaddeus. He didn't always understand the details of God's plan.
Nope. We think that it's like this, and then God's like, no, this is the plan right here. Let me show you. You know?
Yeah. And then you feel like it will come tomorrow, but it actually takes some time for God's plans to actually happen. And then there is Judas. He was deceitful, he was greedy, and was dishonest.
Let's go. We also had Simon the Zealot. He was fanatical, uncompromising, stuck in his ways. I mean, have you ever been stuck in your ways before?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
you know
yes.
what I'm saying?
I think we all have.
Right? And I think that goes with what we're talking about now is like, you know, we disqualify ourselves because we're stuck in our ways of how we think things should be. And we stick to those thoughts. Let's go.
Yeah, and then there's also information that we found on Paul.
Let's go.
He mocked the teachings of Jesus, and then he hunted down and killed people that believed or followed God. Yeah.
You would think, like, why would God choose a guy to represent him and be on his team when that guy actually kills the people that were on his team before he was on the team?
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. But why would they be chosen when they easily have qualities that disqualify them? Like, what is it? Think about it for a second. Like, why? And one of the things that we came up with together is the characteristic that they all shared was they had a willing heart. What we talked about earlier, it's that willing heart. They were willing to say yes instead of no. They were willing to believe what God said about them versus what they said about themselves.
Yeah.
And so just thinking about that, it's just powerful. It's just powerful. And I think that willing heart is that missing piece.
Yeah, that's right, babe. That makes me think of myself having a willing heart to be on camera, you know.
Let's go.
And just reach those that you're not able to.
Yep. Yep. I've always said that too. It's just, I can only reach so many people that people can't relate to me like they can to you.
Yeah.
And vice versa with you guys. Like, we can't reach who you can reach. And so it really pays to have that willing heart, because you won't ever see what's on the other side if you don't.
Yeah. So take some time to think and reflect. There's these two questions that we kind of just thought about. Why do you disqualify yourself? And what things keep you from saying yes?
That's really good. Yeah, it's simple. Just keep it to those two questions. Like, just start the process. Think about what do you do to disqualify yourself, and what things keep you from saying yes. That's simple. And understanding you're not alone, because as we said when we opened up this video, it's like we disqualify ourselves. We agree with the negative thoughts sometimes, and it's hard to do that. But together we can be strong, because someone else can see things in you that you might not be able to see in yourself. And coming to God and being used by Him is all about a willing heart. It's all about a willing heart. Giving yourself the chance to see is the key point, because giving yourself the chance to see what can actually be possible is very special. And we're here. If you have any questions, if you need some support, any kind of support, throw some comments, shout out, a quick, message, whatever it is. We'd love to be able to pray for you, or just connect live, one-on-one, whatever it is. Hop on a Zoom, just chop it up. Just be here for you. And we got a little something extra, right, babe?
Yes, we do. We have a little poem for you guys.
We got a little poem we want to share with you guys. We're really excited about this. And so here it is. Now, here's the thing about a willing heart. Sometimes we don't always know where to start. We tell ourselves we can't, we shouldn't, it wouldn't matter. We disqualify ourselves, and
the possibilities shatter.
The possibilities shatter. We limit our potential for growth and influence. Our mindsets are hungry for deliverance. A willing heart is special. It can change the game. We can embrace it, or
we can stay the same.
We can stay the same. Remember that being willing is actually the first part. It doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to be smart. We can even let someone else's willingness encourage our own. Or we could end up making our home in the unknown. A willing heart, God can definitely work with. Don't disqualify yourself
before you know what your worth is.
Before you know what your worth is. Last thing to remember, a willing heart can go both ways, positive or negative.
Whichever one we choose stays.
Whichever one we choose stays. Signed?
A willing heart.
A willing heart. Let's go. All right, that was just a little poetry for you guys. Had to add a little something on the end. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Drumline. Shout out Nick Cannon. But babe, thinking about your willing heart and you being on video today, which is super special. 4 years in the making, a little over 4 years, but who's counting? What was it, or what did you do differently, like, to shift from saying no to saying yes? Like, what do you think changed?
I really just wanted to see God's purpose for me instead of me creating my own purpose for myself.
Dang, you want to say that again, or because that's pretty deep?
Yeah, you can just rewind it.
Right? I just. That's awesome, babe. That's deep. That's really deep. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I would just encourage you to give yourself a chance to see what's possible, and it's okay to have a willing heart. Mainly just hear Him out.
Let's go. Just hear him out. That might be the new one. I might put that on a shirt or something.
Oh yeah.
Just
We
hear
can sell
out.
them later.
Yeah, hey, we might start selling shirts. Y'all let us know if you want one. Throw it in the comments if you want one. Show us your size, all right? And you know, this is super special. A willing heart can change the game. I really like that part in the poem. And whichever one we choose stays. You could choose to have a willing heart and see what's on the other side, or you could choose to believe the negative thoughts. So whichever one you choose stays. And just want to encourage you guys in that. A willing heart is more powerful than you think. Hey, let's go. Anyways, if you guys want to encourage Evelyn to keep having a willing heart, just go ahead and throw some comments saying that she blessed you, what she said was amazing, so we can get a little confirmation that she should continue to do videos because she does add value, and her willing heart actually got her to see that what she has to add can add value to the lives of others around her. And it's super special because you do have something to say, and your life is just magnificent. I love you.
Thanks, Fem.
Let's
I
go.
love you too.
All right, and as we close, we want you to think about the following statements and listen for the one that speaks to you directly. We'll catch you on the next one.
Maybe.